Hello everyone, I'm TTR and today I'm gonna show you how to install mods in the long dark, right? Um, first of all, modding community is quite active and we're trying to keep the mods constantly up to date. But keep in mind, since we are not affiliated with Hinterland, with the game studio, and we are pretty much, working on our own, there are two things. One, you sort of will not get support from the game dev for the modded game. Now keep in mind it's not like pirated game or something like this, it's modded, so any crashes and bugs related to mods usually will not be accepted to assist you with from the game studio. It's kind of rule of the thumb, but keep in mind that one. Second, word of caution: if you're playing modded game, you are going into a territory when your game might be fully not working after game update, because game might be updated that it's gonna break some of the mods or even all of them, and modder might be not there to pick it up and update it. This is again applying not only to the long dark but pretty much any video game that you decided to mod. But since you want to probably mod because you're watching this video, let me show you how to actually get you around this. So pretty much, if you're looking for where are the mods and how to install and how to start it, you need to go to the website, which is called tldmods.com. As you can see it over here, you know that's it. Go over there, you're gonna be greeted with the screen, and this is the list of the mods. Over here on the top tab you have actually information on how to install, and also modding Discord. Join modding Discord, say hi. If you'll be having any problems or anything will be like unfamiliar to you with the mod, or if suddenly the game will be crashing or whatever, we're there to help. Also, if you might have idea how to improve a mod or some other thing, yeah, we're there. Also, maybe you want to start modding, Discord is first place to start. Modding week will be on our way. But today we're going to talk about the most important part, which is installing the mods. Right, modding is not actually done natively in TLD, so the Long Dark does not have its own modding API or mod API or engine. So what we actually do, it's Unity game. We're using a Melon loader to patch into the game code and give us ability to execute mods. So what you will need to do it is pretty much install a Melon loader. Now, first point over here is quite important for us and for the game studio to be in this little bit happy habitat. Is like I mentioned, if the game crashed because of the mod, most likely game developers don't want to actually hear about this because it's not their doing, it's sort of us, right? So we ask you to turn off the tracking and data analytics and the crash reports within the game to not do this one, right? To do so, we're gonna go to the game. We're gonna start the survival part. By the way, mods, as far as I know, do not work on the campaign. It used to be in the past, but now it's separate software stack. So we're gonna go to the survival, which is the sandbox mode, and we're gonna go to the options. And at the bottom of it, it's a privacy. Those two things, send error reports and telemetry data, needs to be set to off. That means that we will not send any progress, any information and crash reports to the game developers. We're gonna go back, and we effectively actually gonna exit the game because we don't want to have to be running when we'll be performing this one, right? Second step is informing you about backing up your saves, because they might actually damage the game to you, the progress of the game, right? I will actually say something different. If you're deciding to mod your game, start a new game, delete the old save, don't continue, right? The many of the mods will be changing so much that you not experience it if you don't start in brand new game, which might be spotting new items, and they will not be created in the areas that you already explore. It might actually change some of the blueprints or progression, that your game might be not playable. If you're deciding to add the mods mid game, keep in mind, right, if it's adding a one mod or full set of mods, the outcome will be the same. Something might not work correctly. So after you figure out which mods you want to have and which settings, start a new game, right? I know it will be a little bit wasted time, but it's worth it, believe me, right? Third one is saying about the dependencies, right? So Melon Loader does require two dependencies. It's the .NET runtime and Microsoft Visual C++. user libraries. Now you can just blindly go and download those and install. If you have them on the system, the installation will tell you you already have it, you don't need to install it. Or alternatively, you can try to install Melon Loader and it's gonna tell you that, oh, you're missing those, please go and install, right? Those two are not being distributed with the game and they're not being distributed really with the Melon Loader installer because not really, the way you're doing it. And also they're not being distributed with your operating system, right? But they are free. They are free, they are legit, they are Microsoft actually downloads, so don't worry about this, right? I already have them installed, so I'm gonna skip this step. Then, pretty much next thing is to download the Melon Loader installer, which is over here. It's gonna download you the latest version, and we're gonna just run it, right? When you're gonna run, we'll be greeted with this window, right? Now, it doesn't specify here clearly, and this is because it's the time when I'm recording this one, the latest version of Melon Loader doesn't work. Right now, if you install this one, the game starts, but the mods will not work and will throw you an error message. Probably then gonna go to Discord and ask what the heck is going on, and we're gonna tell you, hey, there is different, version needs to be run. Now, don't worry, it's more likely it's temporary. So by the time this you might be watching this video, it might have a different version to install, but as of today, as of May 2024, the latest Melon Loader version is 0.62, but the one that works for the Long Dark is the 0.61, which is we need to untick the latest, so it needs to be unticked, non-green, black, and drop down the previous version, right? Now we don't list this over here because in most of the time it's actually the latest we want it. Like I said, if you install the latest version, you know you will have misbehaving game. You're probably then gonna go to Discord and people tell you, oh, sorry, there is this version. Even if you go to the Discord, right now, um, there is loads of channels, right? But if you go pretty much to announcements, the last post will be mentioning, that you need to actually use different version of a Melon Loader, right? Uh, so there is that somewhere clearly over there. But if not, people will gonna help you. Discord, community for TLD modding is very very helpful, right? Obviously, we need to select our Unity game. We're gonna press select and it's gonna ask where is our game installed. Now, if you don't know, if you're not fancy and you don't know where you install the game, and that's something we'll need to, in about 5 seconds. You go to your Steam, right? You right click on the properties. In install files tab, you could click browse, and it's gonna open your Explorer window. Where are the files? Click on the address bar, copy it or Control C it. Go here into file name, paste it, hit enter. It's gonna load you the directory, and the file you're looking in the Melon Loader is the tld.exe, right? You're gonna just click open, right? I'm gonna close this for a second. And when we have the selected game and the version, game architecture stays as this, we just press install. It takes a little bit, a couple of seconds. The game is installed. Oh, sorry, the Melon Loader resistant game was already installed. And that's it, right? We just install our patching engine, to load the mods, but we don't really have the mods, right? So we're gonna go to the mod list, and I'm not gonna give you any recommendation on really which mods you want to choose. Just go and read them and figure it out, play a little bit with them. The beauty of a modding is there is no proper way or the right way of to choose the mods, right? It's your way, right? So whatever you like. If you want the game make more easier, you're gonna choose the modding and the settings, to reflect that one even more realistic, more harder, whatever, right? However, each of this will have a few buttons over here, and you can see some of them have this dependencies, right? If you click on them, it's going to show you what other dependencies you require. Now they will be different, different mod will have some different. One will be having mod settings, the other have mod settings, mod data, and so on and so forth, right? The way I'm gonna tell you is there will be few of them that you really want to install straight off the bat, because one way or another you will use probably all of those dependencies, as you will be adding mods, and it's good to have, right? So the list of them is pretty much that. I'm gonna just, go through this, right? Mod component, a crafting revision, gears partner, localization, excuse me, localization utilities, mod data, and mod settings, right? Those are the dependencies that more or less you will require of the bot, right? Those names you will be putting over there and so on, no worries. And you're gonna go and click the download button and you're gonna get those files downloaded. Now you can see pretty much all of them except one are the DLL files, and this one is a zip. DLL files, they're your code mode. Zip is usually archived that might contain your code mode, your mod component, which is adding new gear items and so on. Now, we again gonna go and open our directory that we install our game into it. So again, right click on the game name, properties, then install tab and the browse. As we can see over here, this let me just extend it. This grows a little bit comparing to the last time. And that's because there is a Melon loader, mods, plugins, user data, and a few files over here added by the Melon loader. The one that will be interesting is the mods directory, and this is where we're gonna drop our mods, right? But we're gonna be dropping only the DLL files, not the zip files, right? So we're gonna copy those over here, and the mod settings is coming with zip. It's only the L file. We're gonna, go over here, and that's it. The mods are being installed. That's what you require. But that really doesn't give us anything. That was just the, bunch of dependencies, right? So let maybe just, add some mods, right? And like I mentioned, I won't be recommending any, so this is as example. But however, there's one I'm actually gonna recommend, and it's the skip intro redux. What it does, it effectively skips the, as the name says, intro when you launch the game, but it also skips the disclaimer part, right? Now, not legal obligation, but more like moral obligation. The disclaimer pretty much states two things, and this is something I'm gonna say it right now. One, if you experience any signs of seizures, epilepsy, which the most common are like uncontrollable jittering of your limb or part of the body, eye twitching, right? But they're also not limited to like there are other symptoms like headaches, cognition loss, short memory even loss, right? Dizziness. If you experience anything bad happening to you while you playing the game, not only the long dark, any kind of game, or watching some movies or whatever, please stop, make a break, and if it's persisting, consult, seek medical attention. So that's one warning that you will not see anymore in the game. And the second warning is do not try to attempt, to do anything in real life that you learned from the video game. That applies to the long dark, that applies to any other game, right? Vast majority of the games are fiction, and while they might seem somewhat realistic, and they are still fiction. Do not try, to use the knowledge from the video game in real life. Most likely, it actually will cause more bad than good thing, right? But I'm gonna add this mod. Yeah. Right. So because I don't want to wait for the intro to happen, right? And also I'm gonna just add three different mods just to showcase the settings, right? So I'm gonna add in the carcass yield tweaker. That mod change the values of how much meat, guts, and hides you're gonna get from your kills, so to speak. Ambient lights, this one is zip, and it has supporting directory with additional configs. You just again drop those two also in the mod directory. And the candlelight that I already mentioned, right? Now, candlelight have also additional file over here, which is, with extension mod component. That file is the file that's being loaded with the mod component mod, supporting mod or dependency mod. So this one will be adding all the stuff needed for, candles and so on, right? Again, same thing. You go and extract those into the mod directory, right? When you have it, you're just gonna run the game, and when you run the game, you're gonna see this black window with console. You just ignore it, you just leave it over there. First time you're gonna run the game, especially after the game update or installation of a new mods or updating Melon loader, it's gonna take a while. And since we are here, we're gonna go and click survival and go to options again. And now we can see last time privacy was the last option. Now we have the mod settings. And this is what I want to go through it, right? Many people just go and drop the mod into the game and they fire up and they say, oh, it doesn't work. Nothing changed. Well, some of the mods do mimic vanilla, so base game functionality, um, and they require config. Like for instance, Ambilight, by default, it has its default preset, so it increases a little bit of the lighting and so on, but it has also TLD default, which makes nothing. It makes this mod effectively a door mod, right? Now, not all mods will have settings, and all mods will have the vanilla settings. Some of them actually override period. They have some wiggle room over there, but many of the mods will be by default predefined settings of the mod author, or as the carcass yield, just vanilla. If I just drop this mod and never go to the mod settings and play the game, I will be nothing changed. The mod doesn't work. No, it works. You need to change it, right? Now, if you can see, there is a little bit, differences between them, because what settings you can change and how, it's up to the mod author. So you might have presets sections, or you might have just, only sliders and so on. How you're gonna configure it is up to you. Keep in mind, the game you will be playing is the game you want to play. So, one thing to pick it up from this is go and fiddle with those. Press confirm, play the game, and see how actually you feel it about this. If you don't like it, go change and so on. This is why I say you will be at the end starting brand new game, because you want to see how this is, how it feels, but it's worth it, right? Now, some of the mod settings will be very self-explanatory, because, well, you're looking at the moves and how much is minimum, maximum, meat, height count, and so on from those. But some of them might be, different, like what this means, right? Again, you will need to look into documentation, or, ask mod author, right? And this is one thing I actually want to also mention to you. So I'm gonna close it, right? By the way, if you exit the mod settings without hitting confirm, nothing would change, nothing would save, right? So keep in mind, press that confirm button if you really want to save those changes. But the one thing is, many times you might not see, all the details about the mod, or not understand it, right? If you don't do two things in this order, right? Find the mod, right? Like for example, the mod I didn't add it, and I should maybe, it will be a mod that I created, right? It's fire add-ons, right? If you're gonna go and see this mod and you have this little bit information on what this mod does, right? Uh, that tells you very little. And if you actually look in the settings of this mod, there's plenty of to change, to tune, and so on. And you might go, what I'm looking for at, right? See, many of the modders actually have detailed documentation on their source repository on GitHub, most likely, right? So if you go and click on the details button of a mod you're interested, go and click on the source and readme, right? I'm gonna open the new window, and here in readme file, you might have just very short information about this, already detailed, like in this one, explaining you what this mod does, setting a section in the settings, what is the logic behind this, right, and so on and so forth, right? Again, there's no standard formula for this one. This is up to the mod author, right? Read them, familiarize with it, and figure it out, right? A little bit left, right, and center, to the fact that, changing of those settings will adjust the game the way you want it, right? Uh, if you still cannot find your answer, or it's something you don't understand, just go to Discord and just ask in troubleshooting, right? Just troubleshooting that you have issue with the mod, or you don't understand. Someone gonna go and mention you to whom you're supposed to speak, or whatever. So that's pretty much it, I think. Enjoy your game, uh, and see you in the frozen land. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope that it clears a few things. And if not, well, Discord is your friend. See ya. Right, and just when I was editing the video, I realized I forgot about something to mention, right? So there is actually an updater plugin, and I think many people actually making mistake of this one, and that was one thing I meant to do it, right? You have auto update plugin, right? And people just gonna go click download, the standard path. It's gonna, download it for you. No, I don't want to run this. I just want to open the directory, right? And then just gonna go get me a game, and I'm gonna drop this. I want this auto install plugin to update my mods, and they're gonna go click mods and drop it over here. No, no, no. Plugins don't go to mods directory. There is a plugin directory. So if you were in mods directory, right, you go back to the directory of your game, you click plugins, and this is where you drop this, right? Now, this actually plugins, if it's actually having plugin name, you should, put this into plugin. How many plugins you have? If I can type. We have, well, this doesn't work, so we have two plugins, right? Even this, thanks Dizzy, stating this is a plugin. Maybe, yeah, adding here, this is plugin, please put it in the plugin directory, not bot directory would be better. But yes, auto update plugin is plugin that's gonna keep your mods updated, or try to keep it updated, right? So that's one thing I want to mention it. There is also a tiny second thing that I totally forgot. I'm gonna launch a game, right? I mentioned the console window from Melon logo, right? There are options to disable it and so on. I'm gonna skip it, but you might actually have this open for some reason and accidentally you select text, some text over there, right? It might be even just as simple as one character cursor. You're gonna go to the game, and the game is now frozen, right? You might not notice this is actually now visible on the desktop, right? Might not notice, but you might have maybe a second screen, or you were alt tabbing, and then suddenly game freeze. Windows gonna tell the software is unresponsive. Oh my God, the game is crashing, right? If you have a game that just froze, go back to the console and see if maybe you select character. If anything, just hit escape, right? You see it continues loading. Now, it might be not apparent on all of the situation, because if you will be, let's say, in a menu, right, and I'm gonna go back over here, I'm gonna select some characters. The menu is still responsive, right? This is still responsive. The sound it's playable, right? But if I'm gonna click it somewhere, and let's say I'm gonna try to start a new game, just let me go to click it through this one. It's now frozen, right? FPS counter shows it's fine, but it's now frozen, right? This is the problem. I'm gonna hit, escape. Look on the mouse, right? I'm gonna hit escape on here. Obviously, it disappeared because it actually loads the scene, right? So if you ever go in a situation that you suddenly have this frozen between the scenes, or just middle of the game or whatever, try to see if you don't have like selected some character over here, right? So those are the two things I meant to actually mention. Forgot, so I'm gonna just brutally add this at the end of the video, and la la la, see you, over there, kill some wolves or not, whatever, have some meat, cook some birch soup, noodles, whatever you fancy, right? Yeah, and just stay warm. See ya.